Hey everyone, welcome to From the Void podcast, a show all about Eternal and our experiences with the game. I'm Navillus, your host, and with me today is my good friend, WickedGood. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Being a party crasher for Eternal and, just kind of show up and hit masters and, wreck everything for everybody. So I'm happy that you're allowing me to crash the party.
Oh, dude, I'm glad when you showed me the list you hit masters with, which congrats, by the way. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I was like, oh, dude, you're speaking my love language here in this game. Like, oh, man. Guys, going back in the day, I was a huge Armory player before they nerfed a good portion of the cards. And we'll talk about some of the cards they nerfed because you're playing some of them. But some of them,
I have no idea either.
We'll talk about. I'll tell you the original cost of some of those cards, and you'll be like, what?
Oh man.
Okay, so yeah. So that's what we're doing. So Buffoon, he is still on his leave. He does this every year, just kind of like unplugging from kind of social media a little bit to spend time with his wife and his dog Scout, which we're all trying to get onto an Eternal card. And we want the keyword Scout on the card too. So we're pushing for that. And but he will be back streaming tonight. So if you want to go catch him, say hi to him back from his little vacation, you can go to twitch.com/buffoon, and you will find him on there. So wicked good. We're going to jump into our week. So I want you to tell me, how was your week in Eternal? What have you been doing since the new year, since it kind of rolled around? How's it going for you?
Yes. So I decided that, so I hit Masters really at the end of last month, and I kind of wanted to figure out what I'm playing against because I didn't really know, honestly. Like when I was playing up to Masters, I was just and I don't think anybody really knew necessarily. It was still kind of up in the air. I mean, Howling Peak was starting to become a thing, but not really. It was kind of that tail end time between when Rakano Aggro was everywhere and when Howling Peak was starting to take it over, and so I was just trying to figure out was there. I knew that I wanted Howling Peaks because I didn't have any of them, so I just crafted a bunch of them and started playing that. And turned out that deck's pretty good because I got up to Diamond 3 like the first couple days of the month. And then I was pretty happy with it. I think it was like on the second or the third, I was up to Diamond 3, and so I've been kind of just been tinkering with this deck a lot since then. Every so often, I'll take one of the decks that one of the decks that got high up at ETS yesterday or last week. I don't even know when it happened, to be honest. I was watching it the other day, but this whole week is like a blur. So I
tell me about
when
it.
that was actually happening.
Yeah.
But so I've been doing that. But yeah, so I'm kind of like at the cusp of Diamond 2. Sometimes I'll go on a good run, and then I'll run up a couple of decks that take me by surprise, and I'll go back down. But I'm okay with that. I mean, it's still the first week of the month. I'm pretty happy being this far into the climb as it is. I mean, especially given that I'm still kind of learning the meta in general. Like, there's definitely a lot of beginner's luck involved in it's not entirely like I'm good at card games. Like, I'm not getting to masters just by lucking into it. But like, I'm, there was definitely some advantage with me not knowing what I was facing and just kind of treating everything as though it was like a limited format where I'm just like playing against random cards and hoping not to get blown out. So.
Nice. Yeah, that's one thing switching over to this from Hearthstone was because we'll get into a little bit about your card game history, but learning different keywords, and then sometimes you forget about certain keywords. You're like, oh yeah, that's right, it's different, And
I've thrown so many things into Aegis accidentally in that run. You have no idea.
Yeah, that's because like Aegis could be face also, so you can protect yourself from being discarded and stuff like that. So you got to remember. Oh, trust me, I did that on a stream a couple weeks ago where I was just like, I'm gonna make him discard 2 cards, and I threw it, and I was like, nothing happened. I was like, oh, he had Aegis on him. That's right, and I'm like, yeah. So, but anyway, that happened. But as for my week in Eternal, last month was crazy because of the new set, like you said, just kind of figuring out what to play. And I get kind of frustrated like in the Diamond Rings. I did hit Masters. I did it with the Rakano Aggro list that's going around with a lot of the relic weapons on it, on the minions or the units. And so I finally pushed from Diamond 1 to Masters with that. But before that, I was playing like an FGS deck, with the Zoe, Howling. No, was it Howling Peaks? No, it was FHS. So Zoe, Vara, Rizon, all the good stuff that you can find in Fire, Justice, Shadow, pretty much all the good, all the good stuff there. So I got there and then got kind of frustrated, was bumping around because like the meta was just constantly changing and just kind of like what is going on, which is expected with the new meta. And this month I played a little bit of Howling Peaks, kind of like just I've been kind of steadily climbing with just a bunch of variety of decks, Howling Peaks. Now I'm playing an Elysian Night Maul deck, which is basically a bunch of like cards that give Knight the ability Knight. So your opponent's drawing cards, and you have Maul to finish them off, which basically says you do 2 damage for every card in your opponent's hand. And with all those Howling Peak decks that are drawn, I haven't seen a lot of them because I think the meta is shifting to counter them a lot. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, but I ran into a lot of those decks. That's why I stopped playing Howling Peak once I got to Diamond, because I fell into a few of those. I'm like, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore, which I think is the point of the deck. So,
exactly.
Like, I definitely like don't want to. I don't want to be mauled in the face. I want to go do something else. So that's so I did. But yeah, that deck is very effective against the Howling Peak decks.
It is. And so, anyway, but that's what I've been doing, and then I've been just climbing a little bit and just having a little bit of fun, just doing some things, just messing around. So I'll try to push a little bit more. I've had fun with your Rakano Armory deck, but the original one I was playing didn't have Rakano in it. Then I've been playing the one that got me to the Diamond 3 rank, and then I switched to the Night Maul list. So, but it's been fun. So let's go to I want you, WickedGood. I want you to tell us about yourself, your card game history, when you started playing Eternal, the things you like about it, things you want to see changed, your stream, all that stuff. Go for it.
Yeah. So I've actually started playing Magic. I'm really old. So I started playing Magic back when Revised was first coming out, and I played that in high school because my parents didn't want to buy me a Super Nintendo because they thought it was going to be too expensive. And so instead they found this $12 pack of Magic cards, and they thought that was somehow going to be cheaper, and surprise, it wasn't. So I played Magic all the way through like my freshman year of college. I think I got to like a top 16, like a Stronghold pre-release, which was like my last tournament. And all I remember from that was getting there and then being in Boston until 2:00 in the morning, and they shut the subway down at 12:30. So then we had and I was going to school like, probably about like 15, 20 miles outside of Boston. So we had to find a way back to campus after that, which was more difficult than actually getting to the top 16.
Oh, wow.
But it got too expensive after that. And, I was in college at that point. I wasn't, getting boxes for getting honor roll anymore from like my parents did in high school. So I gave it up, and then I found Hearthstone in 2015, I think 2014, 2015. I forget which. Right before the Grand Tournament came out. Right when they put out the phone client, and that kind of rekindled the fire in me. And then you and I got to Legend in that game around the same time, and
yeah, we did.
I've been doing that as my primary game ever since. I have a podcast called Off Curve, which I record in my car on my way home from the train station, just kind of stream of consciousness, whatever's going on in the game, that and I just kind of talk about things for half an hour while I'm entertaining myself on my drive home. And I've been doing I stream usually like once a week on Sunday nights. I've been casting. I just cast a few of the matches in the WESG qualifiers for Hearthstone. So I enjoy it, but one of the things that happened like a couple months ago is that Hearthstone's been kind of going through some problems in terms of its meta, and I was just kind of looking for something else to do when I was getting tilted on the ladder, which tends to happen a lot lately. And so that was around when the Twitch Prime promo came out, where they were giving out that package of, I don't even remember what was in it.
It was like 30 packs, and I think some gems or something like that to do.
Yeah.
It was a really good deal. It was a really good deal.
It was a very good deal. So I was, Andrew Brown does the Happy Hearthstone podcast. I do the card reviews for Hearthstone with him, and so he and I are talking pretty regularly. So I said, hey, go try this out. I actually have had an account since closed beta. Like I remember when Kibler was playing it, and I was watching it on his stream, and I applied for a closed beta and got it. So I actually just bought the Veterans package so I can get the sweet golden sword on the card back because you know, it's supposed to intimidate people a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it does. I actually ran to Andrew on ladder and I told him that he was supposed to be intimidated by my card back, and he was not impressed with me.
That's great. That's great.
But so, you know, I told him, I'm like, you know, I've been playing it. I was playing a little bit of Elder Scrolls Legends at the time too, but that game is basically dead as a doornail. And you know, I said, you know, I tried it. It was okay. I kind of fell out of it. He said, no, this is great. You should try it again. So I did. And it was definitely a lot more fun the second time around, especially when I was not, you know, try-harding in Hearthstone 24/7. I could give it a little bit more time. And what happened was that in Hearthstone right now, a lot of the games go very long. Like, I've been having trouble queuing when I'm not, like, at home in front of my computer, because sometimes you just queue into, you know, like a control matchup that takes half an hour. And when I get on the train, about 15 minutes into my train ride, the internet cuts out. So it's like, okay, well, I can't queue while I'm waiting for the train anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'll just lose, and then that's like a waste of time. So I've been starting to fit some Eternal games in there, and then, you know, just kind of picked it up more. I went, like, the first month that I was playing seriously, I got up to Gold 3, like, the first month, and then I got to Diamond 3 the next month, and then the Masters this month. So I'm still really, I put, like, the $25 from the veterans package, and then, like, I bought the starter pack for the $10 more, and that's basically been all that I've put into the game. And I'm still kind of free to play. Like, I've been Ridiculous Hat is you know, is a good friend of mine, and he recommended, when we were talking about it, just kind of go through all the rares and legendaries, go onto Eternal Warcry, and search for anything that's been updated in, like, the last 60 days. And if you can scroll to the end in a reasonably short amount of time, then just dust it, because, you know, there's enough cards that are just, like, that was the frustration I really had with it, is that I couldn't build anything, because like, I was getting a ton of cards and everyone was like, well, it's really generous. Like, well, not when you have to get 4 copies of a legendary and I have a bunch of jank and I can't build anything. But then that's when he said, no, you should just be going through and dusting all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, now all of a sudden I have 30,000 Shiftstone. Okay, yes. let's go shopping. And
when you have that moment where you're like, okay, because there's a lot of, like, I guess, draft, I don't know, what's the word here? You know, stuff that you need to just dust, basically, because it's draft stuff. But once you do that, you're like, wow, I'm sitting on a lot of Shiftstone. I did that. I needed to craft a couple legendaries, and I'm like, you know, I'm just going to go through, because I've been playing draft a little bit, and just been getting packs too. You know, you're like, your free pack a day helps, you know, believe it or not.
Or you leave Twitch on and during the day, and all of a sudden you got 3 packs waiting for you when you get home or whatever. Yeah,
and, you know, you're like, oh man, I'm just going to be dusting this, and pretty soon you're like, wow, you know, because it's daunting when you think, like, 4 legendaries, 3,200 dust each, and, like, there's some decks that require a lot of legendaries, but there's a lot of decks that don't require very many, that are still really competitive too, which are awesome. And I think it's a nice balance, but that's a different thing, different time.
Yeah.
But I totally get what you're saying.
And then, you know, and it's like, when you look at that, and it's like, and I also didn't have the adventures. Getting the veterans package helped with that, because I just put all the gems into the adventures, and I was sad. But it's like, you know, there's a lot of these that are just, you know, once I figured out how to get the Shiftstone to build decks, that's when things opened up a lot more. So that's when so with this deck, I was just kind of looking around after Defiance came out, and I had been playing the Rakano aggro deck, and that got me up to Diamond last month, and that was really fast. I think I got the 10 win streak achievement.
Oh, nice.
In that streak of time.
Very
so
nice.
Yeah, it was real good, and then all of a sudden it was real not good.
Yes. You hit that pocket where everything is countering that deck, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm not really a dirty aggro player. I was just pretending to be one for a little while. So that's when I started looking around, like, okay, well, what can I build? And then I found I'd had a couple of Star Shield die shows in my collection forever that that seemed like maybe they should have been dusting them, but I couldn't bring myself to do it because they felt like they would be useful at some point, even though they weren't getting a lot of play. And then I had a couple of other cards from that armory list that I found that was kind of the basis for the first version of the armory list that I had. I'm like, okay, let's try to do something with this. So I played a few games with it. It went well. I'm kind of a deck builder at heart. Like, that's really when I'm having the most fun, is when I'm tinkering with something that I either put together myself or optimized myself. And so I started seeing a lot of things that like, okay, well, this is clearly a list where somebody's just trying out a whole bunch of cards and wants to see what works. So let's make this better. And that's what I've kind of been doing little by little over the past couple weeks, and kind of been teaching myself fundamentals of the game as different than Hearthstone as I go, which is, you know, I mean, I have a lot of card game skills and a lot of them transfer, but not everything does. And, you know, it's been long enough since I've played Magic that being able to play things on your opponent's turn and save power for those, and, you know, even if you have the power, you know, using something, you know, like what's the primal, I'm blanking now, the primal card that draws you 2 cards.
Wisdom of Elders.
Yeah, I see that card all the time. I can never remember the name of it. But like, you know, saving that for the end of your opponent's turn, so in case you need to do something else, you can still draw after. There's no reason to play on your own turn, like that kind of thing. That it just took me a long time to kind of adapt to what is different about this game, but I feel like I've kind of gotten a good grasp on it. And you know, what's fun about playing a deck that you've built or that you've, you know, been tinkering with is that you can take people by surprise. And that's what I kind of like about this meta, is that it feels pretty open, even though there's a lot of the same kinds of lists. Like you see a lot of like the FJS mid-range with the Highwaymen and Rizan. You see a lot of Howling Peaks. You see a lot of Rakano aggro. You see a lot of the Howling Peak, the time Howling Peaks with Chi and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of the same types of decks, but even then there's always room for some of these other, just like, oh, this just came out of nowhere. And like when on my climb up to Masters, I ended up on against Mulligan in one game. And again, I'm new to the scene. I don't know who anybody is by name, right? Yeah. So I mean, I assume there's somebody's at Masters, they're probably someone known, but you know, he was still at like Diamond 2 when I was at Diamond 1. And I'm playing like on the train station, and I play the game. I don't think anything of it. All of a sudden, I got a DM on Twitter like, "Hey, can you send me your list?" Like, wait, what? What? How do you know that I'm even playing? Because I haven't been tweeting about it at all. He's like, "Oh yeah, you were on Mulligan stream and you just beat the crap out of him." And I'm like, okay. So there was one point.
That's great. That's awesome.
I had a Molten Fist in main in the deck at one point, because that was what the deck had, and I had one in my collection. I got it from a draft, and I just like played it out and just hit him with it. And I watched back the video. It's like, Molten Fist? Am I really getting punched in the face right now? Like, is this happening? and I did like 15 or 20 damage with that Molten Fist, because he got it down to two armor, but it couldn't get rid of it. And I just kept punching him in the face. And I saw, like, right after he was done with that game, he switched to an Arbiter deck because he was struggling getting to Masters, and he went, like, 8-1 right straight up to Masters after that. So it's like, okay, I guess this is okay.
Yes, that is awesome.
But it's kind of fun, you know, being able, because I figure, like, I can only keep one meta in my head at a time, and I guess, well, maybe not. Maybe I can keep 2 at a time, and maybe these skills kind of, you know, do go from one game to another. So it was pretty cool being able to do that.
Yeah, when we... about that deck, when we talk about it in a second, like, I saw the list and you shared it with me. You're like, hey man, check this out. I'm like, oh my word. I'm like, I gotta play this. And I was already in Masters. I think I went like 10-2 with it. Like, I just like cranked out 12 games, and I just like cruised from like rank 900 to like 500. Just like in 12 games, I'm like, no one's expecting this. They're not expecting Brel. They're just... And so, anyway, we'll talk about the deck.
And Brel wasn't even being played. Like, now Brel kind of sees play in markets, and it sees a little bit of play in some of those decks. But at the time, like, Brel was like this weird card. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but this looks fun. So let's go punch people in the face. And it worked. So
it's kind of a must list. Do we want to jump into the deck right now? Are we good? You want to try?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Let me bring the deck up here. There we go. Boom, boom. Let's see here. Get the logo out here.
Like I said, this is the current version of the list. It's very different than what I hit with Masters with, because I've just been kind of improving it, and there were a lot of things that I didn't like about the original list, and things I didn't know I didn't like about the original list. Like it was trying to use Privilege of Rank. It seemed like they were also using Privilege of Rank in addition to Lost Scroll, because they were trying to figure out if Lost Scroll was good. And spoiler alert, it is. So they had like a
really
lot
good.
more. So they had a lot more sigils, and they had some of the, you know, well, if you have a sigil in your hand, this isn't depleted ones. And I'm like, well, I don't want that. I don't want as many. I want as few, you know, impediments to me getting my power up as much as I can. So I did a lot of tinkering with it, and I'm pretty happy with where it is. There's still some things I may try, but it's I'm pretty happy with where the list is right now. And again, I'm at Diamond 3. I've been probably around a 50% win rate, which at this point in the month is pretty good, given the kinds of players that are still at Diamond 3. So I can hold my own with it. I mean, sometimes decks just get the better of you, and sometimes you just draw poorly, but a lot of time it's able to do a lot of work.
Cool. Let me run through the deck list real quick for the listeners here. Unless I say the number, it's a 4 of. And so, Seek Power, Torch, Lost Scroll, Quarry, 2 Display of Ambition, 2 Hidden Road Smuggler, 2 Red Canyon Smuggler, Slay, Auric Runehammer, 2 Reforge, 2 Rise to the Challenge, 4 Harsh Rule, 3 Throne Warden, Rizon Great Bowmaster, 2 Starsteel Daisho, and then 3 Brel Solus Apostate. And then I'm just going to skip the sigils and everything. Those are just basic sigils for that. And then for the market, we have the gravel. Was that?
Adjudicators gravel.
Thank you. I got that. I was like looking. I'm like, I did. Okay, the gavel. So just we'll talk about it. We got Boar, Citywide Band, Smuggler Stash, and then Martyrs Chains. So that's a list right there. It's a solid list. I think you've done very well with it. Let me tell you something that used to be that got nerfed. That used to be in this deck. That used to got played as a 4 of. The card Smuggler Stash costs 6, and if you know what this card Smuggler Stash does, draw 2 units and 2 weapons from your void. It used to cost 5, not 6. Okay, and so people didn't play Reforge because you played 4 of those. It was your end game.
Just 4. Like, why would you bother with Reforge if you can just get 2 weapons for one more pack? That's stupid. Yeah.
And also, people would play the only minions that people would usually play, especially when Throne Warden came out, which is the 5 mana 4/4 unit with Aegis that would give you 4 armor. When that came out, the only minions in the deck at a time were, before markets and everything, was Throne Warden and 4 Icaria. And so your smuggler stash would get those cards all over again, and it was good. And there's other cards.
And Akari's got Warcry 5, so that just bumps up the weapons even more. And yeah, that's disgusting.
And you play Sword of the Sky. You play Sword of the Sky King as well, and when that would get buffed up by +5/+5, you truly felt like a I'm telling you, it's like you play Arcaria on turn 7, and then you draw Sword of the Sky King the next turn, and you just start laughing. You're just
that's because Arcaria is pre-nerf too.
Yes, it costs 7. Yes,
nerf to 8. Yeah, that I've heard about. Yeah, the Smuggler Stash that nobody talks about because I'm the only one who's playing it right now. Probably, but
Smuggler Stash used to cost cheaper. I think Reforge might have been 3 instead of 4 as well, which would have been crazy. Let me see. There's a lot of new cards in this list from the newer set. So those are the old cards. Starsteel Daisho was still 6 cost. That was really good when you buffed it. You buff it +5.
That's the Starsteel of the deck right there. When you can buff that, and there are ways to do it. I mean, because Brel is kind of the reason that this deck is good right now because. So Brel is a 7 cost 4/5 Warcry 2. Give your relic weapon. Give yourself a relic weapon or upgrade your relic weapon with +4/+4 and Warcry 2. So
that is so gross. That is so gross.
It really is gross. And if you can land it on a Starsteel Daisho, it's just like in Hearthstone, we used to complain about Doomhammer and Rockbiter weapon before it got nerfed because it was the one weapon that lets you attack twice in one turn. And Starsteel Daisho letting you attack twice with Warcry and a buff is just disgusting.
And especially with Lost Scrolls, you can come down a turn early with that stuff, with Rizon and Starshield and Brel. Like, I've done it where I played Lost Scrolls, play Starsteel on 5, and then play Brel on 6. Okay? That is gross. That is so...
That's why when I looked at the first part of the list, like, why are you bothering with Privilege of Rank? Like, just take Lost Scroll, like, because it lets you play more than one power in a turn. Like, why would you just draw them out of your deck? Who cares? Like, just get them out and then play them and then ramp up and start hitting your opponent in the face. Like, that's ideally you want to be hitting your opponent in the face as quickly as you can because the general game plan, this is kind of like it's kind of evolved into more of a mid-range deck than a control deck. It used to be much more of a control deck. Like, we were running multiple Avigraphs. We had the original list had Annihilate in it. It had a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's really kind of gone from being a control deck to more of a mid-range deck that just uses Harsh Rule to get the minions out of the way of your weapon hitting face.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you bumping Slay up because with the graphs card there, there were so many flyers right now.
Yeah.
And so I found a lot of times it was just a dead card. Yeah, it was nice when you hit Vara, but it's like, yeah, you recurrent, sure, I'm just gonna Harsh Rule that card again and all your minions, or I'm gonna Slay it again, you know. So it was, to me, it was like kind of overkill in that sense. Like, because there was too many, it was too bad against cards that I needed it good against.
Yeah, that's what I found too. I mean, it's good for killing smugglers, really, and then making sure that they can't go back to their market a lot.
That's true.
I mean, other than that, it really just was sitting in my hand a lot, and it just felt like the Slay was a little bit better. And I had a lot more removal in there too, and it's like, you know what? My weapons are the best removal. I just want to get my weapons out and protect them. And so it's kind of evolved from from a control deck to a mid-range deck. I had Vara in there at one point, just to deal with the Aegises, and Vara was just dying to Avagraph constantly.
Yeah.
And so that's when I decided to put Rizon in there instead, because it's got flying, so it dodges the Avagraphs, and it also can take out a smuggler on its own with the summon ability. And if you get two of them, or you get one and then you can get it back or whatever, you can take out a peak, and it deals with most of the other sites pretty much on its own. Like, there's a lot, I've seen a fair number of Regent's Tombs, and it's just like, okay, bye, it's done. And it's really good at dealing with that. And the lifesteal is not irrelevant either. Just being able to get the 3 healing off of it, and then being able to block for that one turn is also relevant. And so I've really liked Rizon instead of Vara in the list.
Yes.
And otherwise, what you're trying to do is you're basically just trying to get armor to be able to keep your weapons around, and it's like the opposite of a normal mid-range deck. A normal mid-range deck, what you're doing is you're using your spells to protect your minions, your spells and your weapons to protect your minions. Here you're using your spells and your minions to protect your weapons, because your weapons are actually your win condition. So you're basically just playing minions to either buff up your weapons or just get things in the way of your minions, of your weapons, so that you can continue to hit face.
Yes.
And so and that's what, it's a little bit different in that regard. You kind of have to change the way that you're thinking about how you're using your minions and how you're using your spells. But that's why the Harsh Rules stay in here, even though it's not a control deck, because ultimately you just sometimes need to wipe the board so you can continue to hit face with the weapon. And so that makes sense in this deck, even though Harsh Rule wouldn't be in like an FJS mid-range with Vicious Highwayman or whatever. Like, it does make sense here because you do need to clear out the minions in order to be able to continue hitting face. For
sure. And I think Rizon is definitely, it's that card is too good not to be played right now. Like, it needs, if you're playing in the Rakano colors and your mid-range, you need to be playing that card, because it handles sites, almost all of them, in one turn, except for the Howling Peaks, which is the most powerful one. But still, it does 3 to it. And also, it's hard to take if they've already used the not burn them all, but whatever does the 5 damage. Whatever that card Howling Peaks plays, it does 5 damage to a minion.
Gun down.
Yeah, gun down. Thank you. Yes, if they've already played that, Rizon is hard to deal with sometimes in those decks, because all they have pretty much to deal with it is burn them all, gun down, or because Avagraph, they play that, but they can't use it on there.
Yeah, I think they sometimes have a Vanquish in the market.
Sometimes, and Permafrost every now and then. And so, so it's very hard to deal with that card. So it's great against the sites. So that, I think you have to play it, because your weapons don't hit sites. So you have to. That's
the one thing that we really took a little bit. And I found that out the hard way. But the one thing is that your relic weapons can't hit sites. You can only hit face with them. So you need to have other ways to deal with the site. I was actually running a Flame Blast in the market at one point to deal with a Howling Peak, because I figured for 6 power I could just blow it out. But it's expensive. Like, it's hard to spend your whole turn doing that, and they've already gotten the value off of it. That's why I put the Citywide Band in there. It's not, I may pull it out. I may just try to put something a little bit more proactive, because generally it's okay, but they run Boar anyway a lot of the time, and so it's not always going to be a permanent solution. And generally, like, it just kind of slows things down. Like, I had to play against me once when I was playing Peaks, like, oh, that's the solution, but maybe the solution is just to kill them. So it might be that something other than that's going to go in. I've seen a lot of the FJS decks running Regent's Tomb. That's something I've been thinking about. It might be like a Zhou in the market just to be able to get some more card draw. Because that's the one thing that sometimes you will run out of stuff to do, and that's where Show would be a little bit useful, just to be able to have that ability to start generating more card draw.
That is true.
But even then, just having another proactive threat to be able to pull out would probably be good. But the Adjudicator's Gavel in the market is really good against anything that runs Dark Return, which is all the FJS midrange. It's all of the decks with the stupid 4/1s that keep coming back over and over again. Dawnwalker, I think.
Yes, the Dawnwalker. I've been seeing a lot of that recently.
Yeah, and like Haunting Scream or anything else, like just even like the Howling Peaks will run Display of Ambition, or not Display of Ambition. They run something else that's pulling stuff back from their void, I think. And so, well, I mean, I guess the FJS ones that are running Peaks are running Display of Ambition.
Yep.
Just being able to shut that down and cut down on some of that value and make sure that your harsh rolls can actually be permanent solutions. And usually there's weapon relic removal, but a lot of it's going to be used on your relic weapons. Like a lot of times they will use it on like an Auric Warhammer or Runehammer or on a Daisho or on the weapon from Brel. So you can kind of bait that out a little bit. And then you can use the Gavel, or sometimes you just throw the Gavel on there and just say, you need to have it. And a lot of times they just don't, because they run one copy at most and they have more. By the time that they're at a point where they can get rid of it, you kind of have more pressing things for them to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. Tell me about this card in the deck, Martyr's Chains. Okay. Yeah. Because I see one of them, like, I am totally interested. So tell me your thought process behind this card.
Okay, so I was watching Manu S talk about his.
Oh, we should explain. We should explain what it is.
We should explain what it is.
Go ahead, WickedGood. Go ahead.
So it's an 8-cost relic, costs 4, and you need to have 4 Justice Influence. And it says at the end of your turn, double the attack and the health of your units, and empower kill an enemy unit. Mm-hmm. So this is for extremely long games, and the reason that this is in here, first of all, it's really in here for the empower effect. But just on the actual like end of turn effect, it is actually relevant, because what it does is it makes sure that all of your minions survive a gun down. So that at least is something that I didn't realize. I wasn't looking for that when I put the card in my deck, but it is actually relevant in battling against Peaks decks that have a lot of value, because it does let you keep a minion on the board through a Howling Peaks and a gun down. But the empower effect is really important, and the reason for it is that you have a lot of removal, but you have limited removal, and ultimately you need to remove minions in order to be able to continue hitting face. And what this does is this turns every power card left in your deck into a Slay, and so they can keep putting minions out, and as long as you keep drawing power, you can continue to remove them and keep sending your weapons at face, because there are. Especially when the game goes long, the way you lose a long game typically is that they'll put out something with like 7, 8, 9 health, and you just can't get through it. Or even if you can get through it, it gives up your weapon, and then the next thing kills you. So this kind of lets you continue to remove things without having to run your weapons into things, which is really important. It doesn't happen often. Like, it has to be a really long game, and you have to really plan for it. Like, one of the things that becomes really important especially in the early game, is planning out when you're pulling power from things like Seek Power and Lost Scroll. What are you pulling out? Because you want to make sure that you're continuing to maximize the value of everything. Like, it's pretty important that early you're able to get to 4 or 5 power with what you have in your opening hand, and then after that you want to make sure that you're pulling things that get you to 2 of each influence first, then get yourself to 8, and then when you have 2 of everything, you generally want to be pulling fire from Seek Power, because that's the only one that you can't get from Lost Scroll. And then you want to be pulling Justice from Lost Scroll, because you need to get to 4 in order to be able to play with Martyr's Chains if you need to. So being able to manage, and I slip up on this all the time, or I'll like, ramp myself up to 7, like, okay, I'm going to drop Rel. Oh, I only have 1 fire. Oh, damn it. That's not good. And that's a lot of the way you lose sometimes, is just not having enough power, not having the right influence to be able to play the cards.
Yeah, especially in this deck, like you said, you have to think about a couple turns ahead. Like, okay, what influence do I need? And when I get to turn 5, 6, 7, 8, because it's not just Seek Power. Like aggro decks is like, most of the time aggro decks you just need 2 of each color, and and that's pretty much it. This is like you need 3, you need 4, you need like 3 of each color. Like there's
and you need to be planning like when you're going to play which, so that if you need to drop a root hammer on where you can, like so you need to be like planning out, okay, I need to see a sigil for turn 4 because I need to be able to drop a rune hammer if they play something that I'm going to need to answer. So I need to scout on this turn, but this may be earlier than I want to scout, but I still need to do it because and then it's like, and then you get into these really, like one of the slip ups I made with the deck early was I would keep a harsh will off a scout when I didn't have the power to pay for it. And that, I don't know if that's a no-no in general or just a no-no with this deck. But I found that I would die with that harsh will in my hand, like every time, because you're taking for granted, especially if you're being offered power alongside of it, just take the power.
Yeah.
Like the one thing I found with this deck is that if you have power, you will draw into your answers. But if you keep the answers, you will very often not be able to play them, and you'll end up either dying before you get all the power for them, or you'll just have too many answers in your hand and not have time to play all of them and end up just getting run over anyway.
Yeah. There's been many times it's like if you're scouting, you see harsh rule, but you're only at like 2 or 3, and you're playing against aggro. You're like, well, I have 3 sigils right now, but I'm still 2. That's all you have. You play 3, you scouted, it's harsh rule or a sigil. It's like you're tempted to think that harsh rule, you're like in 2 turns I can do it, but most likely it's going to be turns 3 or 4 down the line before you can even play the harsh rule. So it's better to, like you said, toss it, either take the power or take something you can play now to slow it down then. So I've done that plenty of times before. I'm like, I get greedy. I'm like, oh, I got this, I can do this.
It's an instinct, right? Like you see, like, okay, well, harsh rule, that'll just deal with everything. And like, especially coming from a Hearthstone background where your mana curve is kind of a given.
Yes.
And so, like, okay, well, I'll be able to play it 3 turns from now. Well, no, I need to draw 3 power before I can play that. And that may not be for many turns from now. And that was one thing that I really had to adapt to, because I would just die with all these cards in my hand. Like, okay, I need to be looking for power early and then taking the answers. And the smugglers will bail you out sometimes too. But you just need to be, and Rise to the Challenge is a card that's in the deck that will just kind of pull whatever you need. Typically, it's going to be a Rune Hammer earlier, it's going to be a Dice Show late, or you can pull a Brel, or you can pull a Rizon if you need to answer a site or whatever. Like, those help a lot. And being able to quarry will kind of get something a little bit cheaper and I kind of use those as like faux ramp because they can help find it. Or even if I'm not ramping per se, at least I'm ramping for one card that I can get out a little bit earlier. But it's just a matter of making sure that you're going to be able to do what you need to do early. Because if the game goes late, you generally can take it over, but you have to plan for it, and you need to be able to, get enough value out of your harsh rules to make sure that you're not getting overrun and without an answer later on, stuff like that.
For sure, and definitely agree. So that's good stuff there. So definitely try this deck out. It's a fun deck. I've had good success with it. Of course, WickedGood, he's bringing this deck because he's had good success with it. There's some streamers out there now that are playing the deck because of you. So like, Armory's going to come back, and so but yeah, so it's a cool deck. Thank you for bringing this on the show and let it out there. So go try it out. It's a fun deck. It's if you've been playing the the stories, the campaigns. There we go, campaigns. If you've been, a lot of the cards are not too bad. I mean, you have some legendaries in there, but Rizon, if you've been playing for a while, that's just you have that. Brel is probably the hardest one from the new set because and everything. But if you have a couple Brels and everything, it's a good card. I played in other decks too, so I think it's, like I said, it's in my top 5 legendaries, so I say craft it. But that's a good
and it's fine even if you land it on your own. Like obviously, land a die show. Even if you're just playing it on its own, like the four weapon right away, being able to remove something is fine.
And plus, it has Warcry too, so don't forget that. That sets up. I think
and
the best.
Warcry buffs all the rest of the weapons in the deck, or the next weapon in the deck too. So it also helps kind of keep those weapons around, and with the Reforge, like that can kind of snowball. And the other thing that's important to note is that if you play the Throne Warden first, the armor gets attached to the next weapon you play if it's still around, which is relevant for Reforge and for Smuggler Stash, because then you get that additional armor too. So you want to, as much as you can, you want to try to get the Throne Warden down before you play the weapon. Like one mistake I used to make was I would just be playing an Auric Roomhammer for tempo on 4, and like that's almost always a mistake. Like that's one of your best removal tools, and you don't want to just throw it away and let your opponent just be able to Varus favor you and blow it away. So you want to be able to like Throne Warden and then play it, and then it's a 4/5. and then they actually have to use a real card to be able to deal with it instead of just torching you or Varus Favor or whatever just to blow it up.
For sure.
But yeah, I would say that, I mean, most of the legendaries are kind of the standard at this point. I mean, the Starsteel Dice Show is I would say I wouldn't play without it. There's only 2 in the list, but I would say that's one that's kind of a little bit weird that you may just want to craft. I think the Martyr's Change in the market, you could probably substitute out for something else if you don't have that. I don't think it's critical. I found that when I've had it and when I've been able to play it, it's been really good. But there's also been times when I've kind of taking it prematurely and I haven't been able to play it. So I would see being able to swap that out for something else.
Yeah.
Sure. And I mean, if you're missing, like, the reason I have 2 of each smuggler is just because I was getting blown out by Avagraft and not being able to get anything out of my market. You could go with any combination of those 2, or just, I mean, really you want Red Canyons because you need to get the boar out of the market. But if you just have 4 Red Canyons, that's fine. You don't need the hidden road ones. For
sure. And all right, real quick before we close out on this deck here, and we switch to just talk about something fun. What is your? I'll tell you my best story with this deck. Just like, name your crazy story, like the craziest sequence of plays that you did that just kind of like surprised your opponent. Because I found out like this surprises your opponent when you play these stuff. Like they're like, Starsteel, I haven't seen this forever, bro. What? Like. So my thing, I was playing against aggro. And I did Lost Scrolls. I did Lost Scrolls, so everything's a turn ahead now for me. And he got me down to 9 health, I believe. And then on turn 4 or 5, I played Throne Warden. And so I gained, some armor, which is good. And he couldn't really attack into it because he only had a couple minions out, and he chose not to attack because I could kill one of them. And then next turn, I played Brel. And so that kind of like was a 4-8. And so I killed one of his minions. Then the following next 2 turns, I played 2 more Throne Wardens. And so I just went Throne Warden, Brel, Throne Warden. And like my opponent just like, I'm like, he must have been like, I hate you. Just like, so it was a concede after the 3rd Throne Warden. It was just like, it was funny. I was like, if I can just get this sequence, because my hand was bad. That's how I got down, because I could not really do anything until Throne Warden. But I played Throne Warden, then Brel, then Throne Warden. I'm like, I'm going to get greedy here. So I did that, and I pulled it off. And I did mulligan to 6, too. Like, it was just my hand was bad. And I was just like, but I won. So that's my story, and I enjoyed that. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, so my best one was, I mean, I'll go back to that game against Mulligan, because that wasn't actually the most bizarre part of that game, was me hitting. So I hit him in the face for, like, repeatedly with the Molten Fist, and he eventually got rid of it, and I forget what he was playing, but he put out a Sword of the Sky King, and then he started beating me up with it, and then I just and he thought he was good, right? Because I had very little left in my hand, so he finally gets rid of this Molten Fist. So I reforge it, and then I hit him back in the face and get rid of the Sword of the Sky King. Yeah, and that was just like, that was it.
Yes,
and he was just done. And it's like, okay, well,
I think I had one where I did have like a couple Brels and a couple weapons, and then I just played like a smuggler, and I got a stash, and I did that. After I played stash, my opponent just conceded. I was just like, because I was bringing like both Brels back and like 2 weapons, and they're just like, yeah, this is not happening.
Yeah, I mean, the smuggler stash is ridiculous. Like, it's just, and people do concede when you play it, because it's like, okay, well, you just got a smuggler and a Brel and 2 of the weapons that they've already buffed up a couple times. Maybe you've gotten Reforge on it and it keeps those buffs, and it's just gonna get buffed up even more. And it's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm done, I'm out.
Yes.
I've had enough of this. So
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some games that look like they're out of range, and if you can just stabilize, like, eventually you just get enough value that you're able to just, if they can't answer it, you're just going to be hitting them in the face for 6 or 8 or 12 or 14 a turn, and they just can't deal with it. So it gives you a way to swing that game back and just present this inevitable win condition that they have to answer, and a lot of times they can't.
Yes. One of the beautiful things about Armory of the past was when you had a weapon up, you play Harsh Roll and just keep going face. And
yeah.
Or kill, like, you will learn to love that. It's one of the best things. So enjoy this deck. It is a great deck. It is fun to play. Lots of decisions to make, but and it's not. And it's, as I said, the games are over pretty quick. You would think this for a mid-range kind of Armory, the games get over pretty quick. So, which is nice. It's not not sitting there.
The weapons get big, and they hit face hard. They as they said on one Hearthstone cast recently, they make the big noise.
Yes.
And I like the big noise.
Make the big noise. We should rename the deck. Just make the big noise.
Yeah.
There we go.
I may actually. I think I'm going to do that actually.
That's
now
okay.
once we're done with the show.
Yes, this deck, we'll put it in our Discord. If you go to our FromTheVoidPodcast.com, you can find a link to our Discord there. We'll post this list. I think it's already there, maybe, or if it's not, we'll post it there. And so go check it out. Go play it. It is awesome. Wicked good. Before we go, where can they find you on Twitch, Twitter, Discord, shout-outs? You close out the show how you want it. Go for it.
Yeah, so, I mean, my best place to find me is just at WickedGood on Twitter. That's where everything kind of goes from. I'll post when I'm posting a new episode of Off Curve. I'll post when I'm casting. I'll post when I'm live on Twitch. My Hearthstone podcast is Off Curve. You can find it wherever you're listening to this. Just search for Off Curve, or it's at Off Curve on Twitter. And my Twitch is WickedGood FM. I typically stream Hearthstone, but I could be convinced to work in an Eternal stream. So now that I have some credibility, I guess. Yes. So I could be convinced to do that too. I do enjoy the game a lot. So I just have fun streaming. It's really, like, it's one of the things I started really doing in earnest last year after I retired from one of the other technology podcasts I was doing. It opened up some time for me to do that, and I just love streaming. I love, talking to people, explaining how things work, and explaining my thought processes, and just hanging out with people and playing games. It's like one of my favorite things that I've discovered over the past year. So
cool, man. Cool.
I'm happy to do it as much as I can when I'm awake after I get home from a day of work. So.
I should work it out with you. We could do a joint Eternal stream sometime, and just like,
yeah, we can 100% do that.
We'll talk, because that'll be fun for both of us. Just like,
absolutely.
Okay,
we'll. I'd be up for that. Yeah, for sure.
All right, pay attention, guys. We'll get back to you on that as soon as we talk about what dates for that. So, but yeah, let's see here. Anything else here? Oh yeah, Bassoon Buffoon. You can find him on Twitch, Bassoon Buffoon, on Twitter at Human Venipede, because he won't change it. He loves that handle. So you can go just give him a bunch of hassle about that. But anyway, you can find me at What the Deck HS on Twitter. On Twitch, I will be streaming soon, so I'm getting things set up for that. I'm looking forward to that. Shout out, thank you, Wicked Good, once again for coming on the show.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure.
Thank you. And then also our producer, Avandis, thank you. I know you've been busy this week, but you've helped out with little things, so I appreciate that. If you want to see our sister show, which is the Hero Power Cast, you can follow them on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. They're a Hearthstone podcast. And then HeroPowerHS.com is where you can find all the info about Avantes, our producers, Zeroshio, and I believe Man at Arms, and Versika. So they are the ones there. Remember, once again, from thevoidpodcast.com, you can find all the past episodes and find our Discord where we all hang out and have a good time and laugh and talk and all that stuff. So I believe that is it. Thank you all for watching. And next week, one last thing. We will be back on schedule this Thursday. Bassoon will be back. So this Thursday at 11, we will be back to our normal schedule. So it's going to be awesome. So until Thursday, we'll see you from the Void. All right, that concludes that right there. We can go into, if you're sticking around, or if you're on YouTube, we will go into the play portion. So,
okay.
Cool.
That means I should probably launch the game. That would make that easier, right?
I need to launch mine too, so it's all good.
I need to rename the deck too. I mean,
Oh yeah. You got time. I got to pull it up here. Let's see here. Okay, get rid of the cards. Need to go to the Eternal. Let's make sure this works here. There we go. Cool. Oh, good show, man. That was fun.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, no, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, once we get off, I'll talk to you about when we can maybe do a joint together. Cause,
yeah, for sure.
Probably Sunday nights are the best for you, right? If we do something like that.
Yeah, generally. I mean, I can work in another night. It's just a matter of, like, during the week. It's just like my energy level is. Because I have to wake up at 5 o'clock to get to the train station.
Yeah.
It's not even to get to the train. It's just that they change the way that they do parking to make, like, the smaller lots more, like, cheaper or more expensive than the lot that I park in. So now everybody parks in the lot that I park in.
Of course.
So I have to if I don't get there by 7:30, I don't get to park in the lot. So I have to, and there's traffic on the way there. So but so it's just a matter of, like, how awake I am in the evening. But I could, if I know that it's on the schedule, I can plan around that too.
Cool. Yeah, we'll talk. We can do a Sunday night because I'm free. I'm free Sunday night, so and that's when you're streaming anyway. So we'll just kind of keep it. We can just do like an hour together. Then you can go back to Hearthstone, or if we go longer,
or whatever, we can figure something out for sure.
We can bring all the Hearthstone people and be like, guys, we're betraying Hearthstone here. So
yeah, you're gonna learn something new. It's you're gonna try it and you're gonna like it.
Yes. If you
just like Yo Gabba Gabba,
Yes. If you like weapons, we're gonna have fun. Okay, so exactly. All right, I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Okay, so I'll go into game then, and you can go ahead and spectate.
Yep.
So yeah, this is the latest list. I just pulled out 2 Defiances for Display of Ambition. I keep finding things I want to do, and I'm also seeing things in the other lists that I want to play. And Display of Ambition was actually in the list originally, and I think I thought it was primarily removal. Which it's not, but I didn't really know that, and I had enough times on mobile where I accidentally used the board effect when I didn't want to, and then I was like, okay, I'm done with this card. Okay, so let me know when you can see me.
I gotcha. You're good. Go for it.
Okay, because the stream's a little bit delayed. So I feel like this is not enough for me to hold this hand. This is only getting me a 3 power.
Yeah, if that Reforged was a torch or something. I would, but it's not, so.
And this is not great either, so we're just going to go to 6 and hope for the best. Oh my god, what are you doing to me?
At least you have a quarry, though. You have a quarry.
Yeah, I have a quarry, and I can play it, which is kind of the more important thing. So I'm going to play I'm going to scout first, because I'm going to need the quarry next turn.
Alright.
Seek Power is good. Okay, that helps, too.
Take it.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably quarry next turn, and then go into Seek Power on 3. And hopefully, I mean, the good news is we have a Rune Hammer, so if we can get there, we'll probably be okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna take another quarry because we need to find stuff.
Yeah, he's probably on. He looks like he's on Found, which is Found mid range.
Yeah, so which is annoying usually.
Nope. He's
okay. What is this? I don't even know. Okay, so
I'm trying to think here.
I guess so. We'll Seek Power, and so I'm going to take a Justice Scroll from the Lost Scroll. I'm just trying to figure out what I want. I guess we'll take Fire from Seek Power, and then use that to play the Lost Scroll, and then we're at 4, so we're okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what he's playing because it's not in the ETS top 8, so we know it's not one of those things.
This is. I don't know what this is, and that makes me nervous, but. I always hate not knowing what I'm playing around, especially when you're playing a reactive deck, but...
For sure. As soon as he plays a minion, I can figure it out, but he's, being very secretive about this.
Alright, I don't really want to play the Rune Hammer. It's just a matter of whether I want to... I think I want to Quarry, because I don't really want to take... Anything I want to take from Rise from the Challenge is probably going to be more expensive than I can play right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Quarry.
I think I want to Quarry and try to find...
what choices do you have for it's not showing up on my end?
It's Reforge and Crest of Vengeance, and as much as I don't want to throw away the Reforge, I think I just need the power. So
I would.
I mean, I can Reforge the Rune Hammer at least, that's something I can do, but I don't really want to do that. And then it's offering me a Throne Warden, which I can play next turn, so I'll just keep that.
Yeah, because you would have Throne Wardens and the
yeah. This thing. Yeah, I've played against this deck. I forget what it does. Oh yeah,
but it's
it's annoying, whatever it is. I probably want a Gavel from the market if I can. I may want to just rise to the challenge for a Smuggler, but I think I want to get the Throne Warden set up first, just to get in the way. But I think getting a Smuggler and getting a Gavel is probably going to pay off against this against this deck. But
yeah,
I
definitely
just want to get the armor and just get something in the way right now. And it's also got Aegis, so it's a little bit annoying for them to get rid of.
Exactly. They may have another one.
Yeah, I've played. I feel like I've played against this deck with the Ions a couple times today, and I forget what its deal is, but it's whatever it is. I didn't like it.
It's like one of those decks where it's just an odd deck to play against. You're just like, okay,
yeah.
It's like value mid range because they play Azendul in it, I believe, and at least in the market they have one. And then
I'm not used to seeing ambush minions outside of draft either. That's even that whatever that deadly flying thing isn't really played anymore. Whatever,
the Scorpion Wasp.
Yeah. Like I haven't seen that in a while either.
I have a deck list I'm playing. I have a deck list I'm playing like 2 or 3 in and it's like surprise people. Okay.
Ugh. I don't have removal for that. Ugh.
Uh, do you sacrifice the Throne Warden so you can at least kill that,
Um,
or do you
I
just
think I think I let it live. I'll get
yeah?
because I think it's more important. I mean, I'm going to take 6 either way,
Mm-hmm.
so I'd rather just get that in the way, and then because the Runehammer's not going to deal with that right now.
No, I
Yeah,
think just
I think I want to get Smuggler and just because whatever's going to be in our future, I don't want it to happen more than once.
have you thought about playing like end of story in the market instead of like
End of the story.
yeah end of the story?
Yeah, I had
Just
it in there at one point. I took it out because I wasn't finding use for it, but I may put that in instead of the citywide ban. It's gone in and out. I had it there in the original list.
all right. We need a harsh rule top deck.
Yeah, we super do. That's not even going to be enough against this. But I don't care if I leave a 2/2 out. That's much better since the nerf too.
Oh yeah. The
That's so much.
Vara
Yeah.
takes away the ages. So if you do get removal,
Oh yeah, then the harsh rule gets rid of it too. Yeah.
okay.
We can't play that. What do we have anything else that helps us? Not really. At least the smuggler gets in the way, and I feel like the gavel, if I can live, I'm gonna put the Brawl back because we're not getting there for a while.
No. We don't need to worry
And we'll
about.
just play this relic just because I'm worried about being able to. I mean, at least it's got 4 attacks, so assuming it lives, which it's not going to, and then it can trade off the Vara, and I'm not worried about the rest of it. They're 100% going to kill this thing. Like, I'm going to be shocked if this thing lives to block.
He's digging.
Yeah,
Or she's
good.
digging. Our opponent's digging.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Let's see here. Oh,
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and that's a lot of damage. 5, 8, 11, 30. So I'm not dead, but we need Harsh Rule, and we need it, like, now.
Yeah.
Like, a Runehammer can deal with one of these, but
No.
that's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything that can
No.
rise to the challenge, so...
All right.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. That's what happens when you don't get enough power to... Like, that started off from just having to dig for power, and, like, if we were able to use those quarries to get... to not have to give up the Reforge, then at least I could have turned that Runehammer into, like, a 6 attack and be able to take out the Var.
For sure.
So, that's just kind of what happens, but that was just... that sometimes those games happen, unfortunately.
All right. You got time for another?
Probably gonna... Yeah, we'll do one more.
Okay.
We can do one more. Yeah.
We gotta see you at least a little.
Yeah.
We gotta see the deck a little better in action because this is
We
not.
didn't actually get to play Eternal that game, so yeah. All right, we're gonna toss this too. Like the Seek Power again, it gets us to 3. It's not quite enough. This is better. Yeah. Well, let's keep.
That. See,
That's
when
way better.
This hand right here, this is what you want.
This is exactly what we want. We got a torch to be able to deal with something early.
You got the Smuggler that gains life to grab you something.
Yeah. I'll scout first because I'm not worried. About, yeah, we'll keep a torch. That's fine.
Yes.
I'm not worried about Rakano aggro until turn 2. Usually on maybe they get, a Pyro Knight or they get an Omen, but usually they want to start hitting you on turn 2. So I'm not super worried about that.
I'm pretty sure this is a peak stack because aggro doesn't play a scouting card.
Yeah, no, they don't have time for that.
They don't
Harsh
have Crest of Fury.
Yeah, Harsh Rule we'll get to, I think, with this hand. Like, we've got 4 power. It's not I can't play it right now, but it's not unreasonable for me to find one more, especially with another scout. And so I'm not too worried about that. And I'm just trying to decide if I don't think we want a Smuggler yet. I want to know what they're doing.
Yeah,
so I'm okay with scouting here. Yeah, I think
Do you want Bor? What would be Bor good against? I don't think Bor would be good against anything in this deck.
If they autographed me, then yeah.
True, but
Permafrost too. And having 2 smugglers is good because it gives me access to other things.
I say go for it because
I'll keep it. I think it's okay. I mean, if there's an emergency next turn, we have the Runehammer to deal with stuff.
We have Runehammer, Double Torch, you name it, and they're a slow deck too.
Yeah, like I don't think it's a priority to get to Heart Rule yet. I think it will be, but that's fine. That's another thing I've thought about is the Winchester. I think it's Winchester Cargo. I've thought about putting in here too, but it's just like, what do you take out?
See, I did that in like this type of deck, and then I needed to get to that 6, 7, 8 mana type thing, and I could not play it because it was giving me a card I don't want. I just want power, and it wasn't giving me power because I meet the requirements to get the cargo, and I lost because of that. So
yeah,
I took them out for Seek Power because I was playing out someone. I'm like I'd rather have Seek Power. I'm just like just give me.
Yeah, I'm using the Hidden Road because if they're gonna Avigraft something, I'd rather it be that than the Red Canyon because then I can still get 4, and I'm gonna take a citywide ban.
Okay.
Because first of all, the other thing that's nice about citywide ban is it also kind of gives you an idea of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like you get to get rid of the top one card, but you also get to find out what the other 3 are. And it's like Draconid Operative and Hearthstone way back when. Like you get information in addition to being able to just nuke one from orbit.
Very true.
So, and given that they haven't done anything yet, I kind of want to know what they're up to.
Okay, they're probably going to pull a Howling Peaks from that.
Yeah. And which I don't want to use the torch on that because I would rather save a torch for an Aegis. I don't mind taking 3 to the face. This is a mistake I made with the deck really early too, is that I would just torch these things on site, and I think that's wrong because I know that Aegises are in my future. Display of Ambition is nice to get the smugglers back too. I think I want to just ban because
I say ban.
It's an okay time to do it. Like I'm not losing too much.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there we go. Can you see the options or no?
No, I can't see that.
Risen, Jotun Hurler, Westwind Herald, and Howling Peak. So yeah, let's just nuke the peak.
Yes.
And they just used a merchant, which means that they probably
grab the peaks. They most likely grab the peaks or the Rizon. Like not
the boar is what's important. So
yeah, because they weren't expecting it. That would be like a next level move right there. That would.
Yeah. So I'll just use the Rune Hammer now and just take care of this thing. And
they have Rizon though. That could be next turn. Maybe we should have.
Yeah, but I mean, if they got Rizon, then I've got a Harshful to deal with. Or I can just play with. Well, I can't put. Or I can use the display of it. No.
Oh, there's another Rune Hammer.
Well, there's another Rune Hammer. So there you go.
There we go.
Never punished.
Always lucky, never punished.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So we'll just deal with that, and then.
What was the other minions? They had Rizon. They had Jotun Hurler, right?
They had Jotun Hurler and Westwind Herald. Oh, jeez.
Good grief.
Can we like not like okay, so the question, so we can't Harsh Rule anyway.
Do you just do Rise and Challenge for another Rune Hammer just to draw a card from your deck?
I think that's pretty much the only play right now, yeah. Because again, this is the thing with not getting, not drawing the power. We've just been very unlucky with not being able to find it.
Yeah, this usually doesn't happen. Usually you draw like enough power and then.
No, usually like you're getting flooded a lot of the time.
This is okay. Just let him piddle.
Yeah.
We'll take 5. Hopefully we draw a land and we can just keep we have Harsh Rule and everything because.
Yeah, that would be fine. I mean, even just getting a Throne Warden. Well, the Throne Warden doesn't do anything because they can just go over it. But Copperhall Brave. What the hell is that? Whatever it is, it hurt a lot. What was that? Yeah. When the wielder hits the enemy player, play a Justice Sigil from your deck.
Okay. We're okay. We can kill it, and plus we'll have a torch up too.
Yeah, so that'll be fine. So
and then you can go Throne Warden next turn and gain.
Yeah.
Oh, he has a torch. I'm pretty sure he has a torch in here.
Oh, I'm sure he's got a torch, and that's fine. And the Gretidin's good to be able to toss into the market too. Or Snowball, yeah. That's the way they deal with it.
Okay.
Then they don't have to use real removal. They can just use the Snowball. I mean, thank goodness that the Peaks is not there. Okay. I guess I'll just torch that to get the Aegis off, and then we'll decide based on what we draw if we need to deal with that or not. Because I really... Okay, there we go. That's fine. Let's just slay that.
Yeah, we're running him out of options now for... Because the Peaks was the main thing.
Right, and the one thing I learned from playing the deck is that when you don't draw Peaks, it just gets very, very clunky. and you
That's
really
good.
do rely on that.
Yeah, that's good for us right there because.
Oof.
Well,
Jeez. Okay.
Well, he can't really. He can't do the combo because he needs mirror image in there.
Yeah. What does he have? He has a snowball. He has a contraband. He has a torch, a seek power. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's not the worst thing in the world if it hits face.
You do have a torch in the market.
Yeah, I put that back there. Let's see. We could seek power.
you can also grab the gavel. See, cards can't leave the cursed player's voice. So if you play that, there's nothing.
Yeah, there's an argument for that too. My problem is not even the because even if they torch, right, then I'm at 7, I'm at 9, then I'm at 5, then I'm at 2. So I think we kind of need to do that. I do want to seek power and just get a shadow signal out.
Oh, for sure.
Sigil, whatever. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that, and then we can also block the merchant.
Oh wait! No, I forgot. Aegis.
You got Aegis. Yeah. See?
My bad.
Did it again.
My bad.
Okay. That's okay because we still have a minion in the way. So, I mean, the torch and they may. Oh, okay. Well, not. Okay.
Okay. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
We can gain life this turn. He only can infiltrate once.
Yeah.
He drew cards.
Oh, he drew cards. Okay. Well, that's not great, but that's not terrible.
No. Okay, throw Warden.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we'll just heal up. That'll block out 2 damage. They've only got 2 more. That's going to hit over it. That's not the worst thing in the world. And they're just drawing. They're drawing blanks now, at least. So that's fine if they're going to hit me for 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, quarry helps. So I guess the question is, do we quarry or do we just throw Warden again? And I feel like we just kind of throw him again right now.
Yeah, I just do that. Just gang.
Yeah.
We just want to.
And then, they don't run anything that charges, right?
Let me think. No, they don't.
All right.
I'm trying to think. So let's see here.
Let's at least try to get some chip damage in there.
Yeah, this is the Westwind Herald combo, so they're just.
Yeah, they're just looking for they're trying to find a way to break that ban right now. I mean that's where that is useful, right? Is just because if they had oh my. Okay, well that's okay. I mean that just deals that's not okay. I don't like that at all.
This is the winner is 3 damage to me. You can play it in the Gunslinger.
Ooh. Yeah, because then that let them vanquish it. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Well, okay, so I can.
Oh wait, you can
I can
slay
and display of ambition on that now.
I would wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. I mean, in either order, it doesn't really matter.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's like just get rid of it. Just get rid of it.
So we're hanging on. I mean, it's if we can get something.
All right. Do we want to scout or do we quarry first?
I think we want to quarry first. Because that gives us 2 options, and we get one of them right now. Oh gosh.
What is the option?
Just take a free. It's Crest of Vengeance or Seek Power, so I guess we just take a free Seek Power.
Yeah.
And then
play to Seek Power first before you play.
Yeah,
Crest.
so we get the sigil out, and I'm gonna take a fire off of that, and then we'll scout for next turn. I do not want an Emerald Waystone.
No.
The 1 armor is fine, but that's not what I'm looking for right now. And then, if we can just get something. Like
we need Rizon. There we go.
There he is. Okay.
There we go.
Now, so I guess the question is, I want to hit face with this.
Yeah, because you want to gain life. I
need the life gain off of it. Whoops. Oh, I clicked on the relic instead of on the.
Oh, I was like, what did you just do?
I'm like,
what?
Wait, what? I don't want to. No, I don't want to get rid of that. No. Stop.
I was like highly worried. I was like.
All right.
Yeah. What does he have?
So now they're probably going to Defiance this. Yep.
Yeah. That's
fine.
okay. That's okay.
I mean, it's done for 2 turns, but that's okay. And I really don't. Well, I do care if I take out something along with this.
Oh,
okay,
look at this.
Hey.
Look at this.
There we go. Yeah, we'll just keep trying to get this chip damage in. Like, if we can outlast them, we can start, doing some damage. And it looks like they're kind of run out of gas a little bit.
There's the boar.
There's going to be their boar. Yeah. Yeah. So that citywide ban is not long, but they don't have anything left.
No.
So I mean, if they do board, they can't really mirror image.
Okay.
So that. Okay. So I guess let's quarry first and see what
quarry.
we get. All right. Well,
what do we have?
Let's roll again. We quarry in another sigil.
Okay.
So we'll roll again.
Definitely.
I mean, this is fine. This is just getting the stuff, getting through the deck, basically. Torture or Crest of Chaos. So we'll definitely take the torch.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question is, so I guess
I would attack with both the Rizon and one. Wait.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of wondering if we go all face, we torch the merchant, and then we harsh roll.
I wouldn't harsh roll this turn because you have minions that are bigger than his, and if he plays peaks, so I would play because we have to play defensive, so I would just attack with the Rizon and see what happens.
Yeah, I think I'll leave the other Throne Warden home. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then just kind of get some health a little bit here.
I want to see what he has.
Oh, whoops. Oh, okay.
Okay, no, he doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
I would save the torch because there's no reason right now on his turn to do it.
I think I'm just gonna let him. I'm gonna let him have it, and we can do it next turn. Because I'm a little bit worried about them getting more stuff out of the market, but it's I'm not super scared about these minions right now. I mean, and if they're gunning down, so they're torching Rizon.
Mm-hmm. Double
torching Rizon.
That's okay.
So they don't have a peaks then?
No.
Okay.
They would have played it next turn. I would just. I want to say just torch the 3/2 there.
Yeah. And go face with one of them. Yeah.
I would say even. Did we go face with both though? Because the most he can do.
We're at a pretty safe health total.
I would go.
Is definitely not peaks because whatever it is, the fast spell, so it's not a bore.
Go both because we just need to get damage in because we put him on a 2-turn clock now.
Yeah, and the the safe play is to end the game quickly. So
that's fine too. Go face with both.
Yeah, go face with both, and then Rizon the Aegis off the West Wing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Because that stops him from attacking in there. Because I am pretty sure all he has is a torch or a Defiance. No, a torch. That is the
Annihilate.
No, that one he just got is it's Hurler. Okay.
Yeah, because they don't run Joe if they run Hurler.
That's right. Oh, Reforged. Okay. Is there anything?
Okay, so what do we have a Rune Hammer, right?
Yeah. We have a 6/1 Rune Hammer.
We do, so we can.
Yeah, we can play that.
I'm trying to figure out what the order of operations is going to be with this. I mean, we're definitely playing the power because that lets us do both in the same turn. Mm-hmm. So, if we go face with everything, and they block everything, then we hit them in the face. Otherwise, we take out the West Wing.
Yeah, go face with everything.
Yeah.
Because they have to block.
Yeah, they don't have a choice. They might let Rizon through if they want to protect the West Wing, in which case we'll just
We're going to kill it.
Yeah. They may just concede now, too.
What do they have?
Oh, they can cancel it out. Okay.
That's fine. Well, if they attack, I mean, what are they going to get?
What are they going to play, I guess, is the question, right? I mean, they can play a Vanquish on the 5/4, or they can draw more. Yeah.
Draw more?
Keep drawing. I mean, they need to find some way to answer both these minions. Okay, they're still digging.
Okay,
they
that's
found
a
a hurler. So they can take the Aegis off if they found a way to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, there's a Vanquish.
Mm-hmm.
They still need to kill this because they don't have anything to block. Well, now they have something to block it. Okay. All right.
All we need is a weapon.
Yeah.
And your deck is full of them.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, wait. What can we do?
Hidden Road Smuggler can get us many weapons.
I'm thinking here. Let's see here.
Because that gets me a smuggler stash. I can't do it this turn.
Yeah.
But oh no, they have an Aegis. Crap. I was gonna say we could just torch them, but they have an Aegis. We could also bore and just get the I don't think that's not better than a smuggler stash. I don't think. I was gonna say we could bore and just get the Valkyrie out of it.
I say bore. I thought say we throw down. We attack, so he kills it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we have to attack first because they need to block this.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we're definitely gonna smuggler. We're definitely throwing a harsh rule back. And then no, I can't get the board because he's not fire.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
I mean, I could also take the chains, but I think the smuggler stash is just better. It's just gonna end the game faster.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Caleb's choice that was a sideboard card, and so that was the only one. So we don't have to worry about that.
I don't even think we don't need to harsh rule this. This is still threatening lethal with the 3/3, so they still need to answer it. Well, okay, we could harsh rule this.
Yeah, I would harsh rule this since we have 2 harsh rules.
Oh yeah, that's annoying. Okay.
No, we harsh rule and kill.
There we go.
There we go.
Slay and we harsh rule. There we go.
There we go.
Bye, Felicia.
Ooh.
That's not lethal though.
No, we played a stash. We played a stash and get
because
stuff.
I mean it doesn't even do any damage because and I can just get another Rizon anyway. Let me just see. Do we want another smuggler? Nah, I don't think so. I think we want a Rizon. I think we want 2 Rizons really.
Yeah, get 2 Rizons, gains life,
and just take 2 rune hammers and there we go.
Because if we get a power, if we harsh rule, we can rune hammer. If we harsh rule and rune hammer next turn, and
I mean, they also have to play something. I mean, they just vomited a whole bunch of stuff on the board that we just wiped out. So okay,
sure.
So there's another Rizon. Okay, so I guess let's just use the rune hammer to clear that, and then they still have to deal with the rune hammer, and we've got 3 armor, so. They have to. It's not just going to be like a snowball. It's going to be able to take that out. They need to use a real card.
Okay.
What? Or are they just showing me their hand?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, you got this. Yeah, they're just showing your hand.
Yeah.
Yep. Good game, man.
Okay. Well. Okay, that went better. That's how the deck's supposed to work. Sometimes it feels like it's going to give you a heart attack in the front.
Dude, we were. Oh man, we were talking through some plays there. Oh my word, that was. And
it's not always an easy deck to play either. Like some of the decisions are a little bit weird. But if you're thinking it through really well, like you can make your way out of some pretty sticky situations.
Like you saw, those Throne Wardens help getting that armor, Rizon's gaining life. So that's the deck. So that versus Howling Peaks, that's a very cat and mouse type of game. Like, the cat is. Sometimes you're the cat. Sometimes your opponent's the cat. Here's this.
And we were the mouse for a long time, and then it kind of helped us stabilize just enough to be able to turn things around. But it was really like, I was like, oh my god, are we gonna play a 3rd game to prove this deck actually works?
Yeah. What really helped though, because I'm pretty sure your opponent played. You played a citywide ban, I believe, and then your opponent played the Genève Merchant, which could not get a boar, but it could not get the Howling Peaks either. They didn't do that.
Yeah.
Then they played the other merchant, the Ixalan Merchant, and that got the boar. So that was like 2 turns right there where they could have got Howling Peaks. They could not because of the citywide ban. So that was that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell with a card like that if it's actually for you or not a lot of the time. Because, it just keeps. It's not like an Avigraph where that it's getting rid of it, or you see them throw something out that they wouldn't have. But it's a lot of times sometimes it just kind of locks that out and buys you enough time to be able to get your game plan online. For sure.
Yeah. So this concludes the YouTube part of it. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this through YouTube. Hit us up on Twitter, like we said, at WhatTheDeckHS or at WickedGood on Twitter, and we'll be more than happy to answer questions about the deck. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good one.